Where are we right now?
We are at McCauley Family Farm.
And what happens here?
This is a regenerative farm. That's one way to describe it.
Okay.
This is my best shot at trying to accomplish my mission of healing people and the planet with delicious food.
My favorite food that I buy, my favorite meat that I buy is from you, this farm.
Thank you.
Lamb, pork, chicken.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 10 times better than the best meat Costco has. Yours is like 10 times better.
Thank you.
And so I don't know everything that you got going on here, but I know that meat-wise, I've never had better.
Thank you.
Do you get that often?
We get a lot of great compliments.
Why do you think that is? How can your meat be so much better?
I think when you compare it to what's out there, that's a big part of it, right? If you contextualize what we're doing with 99.9% of, where our food system is, then, it's, the differences are profound. When you have animals that have the opportunity to live outside, to rotate constantly to fresh pasture, to forage for their food, it makes a huge difference. Our chickens, they live outside in the Colorado sun and rain and under the stars, and they get to eat bugs and worms and grass and seeds, and that's really rare. People don't realize that, that organic and free-range chicken are 30,000 birds in a barn with access to a porch they're afraid to use.
And so this is a regenerative farm. What does regenerative farming mean?
Well, I think, again, it's good to start with context, right? So to contextualize that, 30% of the world's farmland has gone out of production in the last 40 years.
Whoa,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
And why is that?
Because of the way that we farm the land.
Oh, okay.
Just depleting the soil, tilling, and just extractive agriculture, dumping chemicals on the land, and having this perspective that the soil is dead, and that plants just need a select number of chemicals to produce, has led to the degradation of our soil resources. And so there is a way, and regenerative is oriented around the belief that we can farm in a way that actually increases soil fertility over time. And really, I look at it kind of bigger than that. When I talk about regenerative agriculture, I think it's good to think about what are we regenerating. So we're regenerating soil fertility, right? We want to increase the plant's ability to grow, and we want to increase diversity, right? And I look at it as building an ecology, building what I call a functioning farm ecology. So we're using ecological principles, but we're tuning that ecology to feed people. I want to feed people, but I want to do it in a way that is beneficial to the earth, and of course beneficial to humans as well. So, an ecology, a functioning ecology, has many elements to it, and they're tied together. And our farm has ruminants and grazing animals and birds and annual crops and perennials and insects and fungi and humans, all working together, all playing their own role, to together create something more than the sum of the parts. Yeah.
This is beautiful. It feels good here. You can feel it. There's a different type of energy. And do you host events here? Do you bring people to come out and educate them on all this?
Certainly. There's a lot of ways that people can come and bring that human element to the ecosystem. Kiddos, come here and learn. We have culinary students that come on a regular basis to learn, pre-COVID times, but
right.
we know we're looking forward to having them back again.
Yeah.
People come to the farm and stay. We have a volunteer program, interns and apprentices who come and help. We have a tour once a week, Tuesdays at 4:30 during the growing season. For an hour, we walk the land and talk about this kind of stuff, talk about regenerative agriculture, talk about building a local food system, a bioregional food system, and talk about delicious food.
And you've put a lot of processes, structures, some automation in place here, and yet this is still a massive effort to have a farm of this size. How do you take care of yourself to make sure that you can service this land, service your customers?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'd say, sometimes I do a great job of that, and sometimes, I don't. And to really truly be sustainable or regenerative, the human element has to be sustainable as well, energetically. And I've seen a lot of my farmer friends really suffer physically, emotionally, relationally, because of everything what it takes to be a farmer, especially, well, just a farmer, just somebody who is really putting their blood, sweat, and tears on the land on a regular basis. And it's been a journey for me to really learn that. And I think a lot of folks in these kind of professions wind up drawing from their health capital, their physical health, and just to keep it going. And you can only do that for so long, and I've certainly had that happen to me. And I've found that I have to put myself first. And there's so much about this path that's you're giving, you're giving to the land, you're giving to your customers, you're giving to your farm community, and you're giving to your employees, and your family, and you got to give to yourself. We see farmers who just kind of even forget to eat their own food, forget to eat their own great food.
Yeah.
And I've been guilty of that. So we try to make a regular time to sit down and share this health bestowing food together, and to be nurtured and nourished by that food and by each other, to remember to refill the tank through human connection. And and I have a personal practice of yoga, and keeping my body in shape. That has made a huge difference. It's really hard to keep up during June, July, and August.
Yeah, your peak months.
Peak months, yeah. It's just there's so much just that needs to get done. I mean, You're talking sun up to sundown, past sundown. I mean, really 100 hours a week, just getting up when the sun comes up and staying until late, making sure everything is taken care of. And it's hard to get anything in during that time, but part of that too is just we're in a fragile food system. We've had to, every year we have to adjust and change things because we lose all of our ability to process our animals, or that situation gets better and then another thing goes away, and then we've got to really redesign our business to change course like mid-season, midstream, So that's it's part of that has to do with how fragile our food system is. But the good news on the other side of that has been our customers and how they've really come through with all of the challenges, and our staff too, to meet those challenges and to come together. And now here we are, on the other side of a lot of challenges, still here, still growing food, still taking care of each other, still taking care of ourselves.
I love it. I love hearing that. That's a big practice for me, that self-care too. I've learned that and keep relearning it. And you're on the front line of our food system. For those that maybe don't have this perspective, as close of a perspective, what is the state of our food system?
Certainly, yeah. Well, it's one of the things that got hit really hard during the shutdowns, with COVID, and I think a lot of folks had that experience of going to the grocery store and finding the shelves were empty, and that was a real turning point for us. I mean, the phone was ringing off the hook. I mean, people really reaching out. I think folks are wondering, you see the shelves are empty, like, they're looking around, does anybody know how to grow any food around here, And so one of the value propositions that we've been talking about, there's lots of them about why this kind of farming, this food is really exceptional, but one of them is the short supply chain, the knowing your farmer, right? That resilient kind of economy. And so we know how to grow food. We live right down the road from a lot of folks, and we now have the wonderful opportunity to be able to feed a lot more of them and build a lot more relationships and make sure that their supply, their food is going to be here. They don't have to worry about it. It's going to be here. It's right down the road from them. They're going to have food.
And so we're in Boulder, Colorado today. And what areas do you service and support?
Well, we service Boulder County, Longmont, Boulder. We have monthly pickup locations in Boulder and Longmont, and then we also have delivery option in Boulder and Longmont, and also some zip codes in Denver as well.
And you have a lot of products that can be purchased at Whole Foods and some other regional, even national grocery chains?
Yep. Yes, we also preserve the harvest through fermentation. So we grow some of that stuff here, and also other farmers that we know, and we know they're amazing, exceptional growers. And we make a live fermented hop sauce called Picaflor.
Award-winning.
Yeah,
my favorite.
Yes.
Favorite hot sauce, favorite meats, all come from this farm.
Thank you. So yeah, we have we're fermenting a lot of things. I mean, fermentation. Let's ferment as much as we can. We've got fermented chili flakes. We've got fermented relishes and sauerkrauts under the McCauley Family Farms brand, which is regional and Whole Foods and 30 stores. And then the Picaflor is throughout the West. We're in 12 states with that, and folks can look online on our website and find out what stores.
And it's amazing. And for those not familiar with fermentation, why are you so passionate about it and do that with those products?
Yeah. Well, it checks a lot of boxes, but number one, it's delicious. I mean, that's like, let's start there.
It's definitely delicious.
Yeah. I mean, all the best foods are fermented.
Okay.
Yeah, it's flavor alchemy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's some when microbes get a hold of the food before we do, it's usually good news for us.
Oh, okay.
From a flavor perspective, but also, from a nutritional perspective as well, So, I mean, wine and beer and cheese and chocolate and soy sauce and sriracha and salami and all the best
That's
things.
all fermented?
That's all fermented.
Wow,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So flavor comes through, and we've evolved to be able to detect when things have been fermented.
Okay.
Yeah, like the sour, right? That's gone through a fermentation process, or the umami that comes through. That fifth flavor is from fermentation. So another reason is because fermentation, it's a great way to preserve the harvest.
Okay.
And humans all over the world, for thousands of years, have been fermenting things. I mean, maybe perhaps before we were even human, we were utilizing fermentation. I mean, wild animals create the conditions for fermentation to happen. And so you can ferment the harvest with salt and a barrel. And yeah, it's low energy input, and also, so the health benefits, right? So that's, I think, one of the really important things for me is So you've got the flavor, low energy input, and it's a health tonic. I mean, there's a reason why humans have been, like, all the condiments have been fermented, besides the flavor and besides because it was easy and it was kind of happening anyways, was you eat some fermented food with your meal to help with digestion.
Wow.
It's been proven to help with brain health, and it's an immune booster. You know, so you would get the mustard traditionally fermented, or the ketchup traditionally fermented, or the fish sauce or the soy sauce traditionally fermented, or the sriracha, right, or the kimchi's and all the pickles, or the little cornichon that goes on your meat plate. Like, cuisines all over the world have had a bit of ferments, a serving of billions of beneficial probiotic buddies to go with their food.
And do you recommend like one fermented meal a day? How often should you be consuming things that are fermented, or your products?
Often as you would like to eat delicious food.
Okay.
That's how often you should eat fermented food.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. So the thing about, you know, like, our diet right now is it's very depleted of live cultures. The Western diet, you know, with the preservatives, with food preservation. You have antibiotics in our food system, right? There's been an all-out war on microbes to the detriment of the beneficial microbes. And taking a pill, a probiotic supplement, is pretty new in the, you know, history of humans.
Yeah.
And there's some science, you know, developing about the benefits and maybe some drawbacks of that.
Yeah.
But what's clear is that humans have been eating live food for a really long time.
Yeah.
Generally recognized as safe because of the long history of humans eating probiotics. So I get a little probiotics just in my food from the live ferment about once a day, but probably more. Whether that's in a kombucha or, I mean, that's one of my missions, is just to get more probiotics in people's diets, maybe people who aren't familiar with it. And not everybody likes sauerkraut or kimchi, but there's lots of other things that can be fermented and still alive, like our hot sauce, right? And so yeah, trying to get those condiments alive again as a way to just kind of bring life back to people's daily meal.
I love it. And where can people learn more about you and what you're doing and all of your products and get involved?
So Picaflora, our website, picaflora.co would be great. Follow us on Instagram. Also our farm website, FromOurFarm.org. And then we also have a McCauley Family Farms Instagram feed as well. So those are all great ways. If people want to learn more and actually come out to the farm and connect, they can sign up for a tour on our website. And they can just reach out directly, you know? Yeah, we'd be happy to talk to them.
Awesome. And anything that you'd love to leave the people listening right now?
Thinking about what you eat is really one of the most interesting and pleasurable ways to have a big impact on the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Demanding that the food that comes into your body, the food that goes into your family's body and becomes them, right? Not compromising on that, and being willing to really, really ask the question, what should I eat and where does it come from? And to pull on that thread can be extremely gratifying process, and it can be a process of self-discovery. It can be a process to greater health and vitality, healing even, I think my mission is to make it possible for everybody to eat healthier. You know, if we come together as a country, I think that's possible.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Marcus.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
Yay.
How'd that go?
Good.
So you crushed it.
Yeah, thank you.
That's the fun part for me, is you just get smart, passionate, hardworking people going on their thing that they're passionate about, and then it's all there.
Yeah.
You've got, you know,
totally
volumes and volumes and volumes of passionate information to share with people. Yeah, and so that all showed up.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Nice
yeah,
work.
I mean, that's why I've been doing like the tours,